Tonight we watched The Lords of Salem. Hey Internet, we're back again. Day 8. And we watched The Lords of Salem. I don't need to step aside, because actually you're better off not seeing that.
We're dressed in the same clothes.
We are.
That's gross.
We don't change our clothes much. Okay, let's dive right into it.
Lords of Salem.
Acting was great. Yeah, I was going to say, one thing at a time. Acting was actually good. Everyone, I think, did a good job, believable in the roles.
Absolutely.
The acting was great. Effects were good too, actually. The effects were, well, they weren't, oh, well, okay, the little midget thing was kind of...
Yeah, that was hokey.
But
it was
the
like,
rest...
that's clearly just a...
The rest was good. Like, some of the subtle things, like the one we noticed, the one person that appeared in the corner, had the music not drawn your attention, you wouldn't have even noticed. Like, it was really subtle.
Yeah.
That one door being off kilter, I don't know if it was intentional, but man,
I think it was. The hallway was
me.
made to be unsettling. Like, the door itself was not centered in the frame, and then the frame itself was not centered in the hall, and the hall itself was uncentered with other things.
There was that strut that came out just on one side, and it was. Like, they did a good job making it, like you said, unsettling is the right term for it. Now we come to the big one, the story. That's the main thing we got to talk about here. I'll let you go first on this one.
The story wasn't bad. It was a story of witches putting a curse on a town, and then that curse coming to fruition all of these years later, and it was an interesting concept.
Not at all what I was expecting, but, well, from that perspective, just looking at the story itself, I guess, no, really, it wasn't terrible. I mean, I won't say it's original, because it seems like The Covenant, but it not bad. Not a poorly written or poorly done story. It was interesting. The characters were interesting. I mean, there was a story there. Before we get into the rest of the bit, though, this was not a good movie. Despite all those things being positives, this was just... The pacing was crap.
Yeah.
It felt like for, well, almost the entire movie, nothing was happening. Despite having a story and good actors and decent effects, nothing fucking happened. The music that was supposed to be the whole whatever it was not unsettling, just annoying. The gratuitous naked old ladies could have never happened. That would have been...
yucky.
For any of you out there who are into old people porn, and unfortunately,
I'm sure there's
odds are somebody
there.
is, this movie is your thing. It's full of it.
Yucky.
Completely uncensored, a whole lot of just naked grannies. And nobody wanted that at all. I have to say, for someone like Rob Zombie, who has one of the biggest collection of horror films, this was a shit movie. This was just... It's not what you expect. I mean, the remake of Halloween was great. Some of his other stuff, really good. This was not really good. This was... no.
The witches were different than what I was expecting. I was expecting like these pointy-nosed, cackling... Yeah. But they were just freaky, crazy, weird old bats.
You actually called it before I did, too. That they were... That one lady was going to end up being a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't tell right from the beginning at first. She was just, innocent enough.
It was a very obvious plot. Everything was straightforward and nothing was unpredictable. It was...
Yeah.
Just a boring... I thought it was just a boring movie.
It was. That's really the main thing.
The crap out of me. Like, there was Bigfoot in one freaking shot. Well, 2 shots. And he was the freaking best shot of the movie. He was, like, huge. And he walked up between his 2 dudes and he was huge. He was Bigfoot and the nails. And I was like... Bigfoot's in this movie. I'm like, all on board at that point. And then they... Never again.
See, what this movie was for me, it was very reminiscent of the worst horror movie in the world, I Love You, Philip Morris. Because the whole movie we're watching, and it feels like maybe it's building and something's going to happen, and nothing ever happens.
Like the big thing when Satan's born, it's just a potato.
Yeah,
there's
some weird squidgy appendagey.
There's some blood and the old ladies are all around, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like the very next cut shot, there's Satan in their arms. Yeah, baby, Satan. He's like a yam or a potato or like a tree root, and they're all hugging him.
It looks like Groot. in like his teenage years. Just all appendagey and weird.
They cut to so many different weird things. Like all of a sudden she's in the theater, and the next thing she's in a hall, and it's just no consistency.
Yeah, it really
nuts.
Like at one point I understand occasionally the quick cut shots and the random cuts and edits sometimes can build suspense or unsettle you, but this was just too much random to where it broke up the plot and it left you more wondering than it did uneasy. Like, I wasn't necessarily unsettled by any of those random scenes. It was more just confused.
Yeah.
So, scary, it was not. It did have some unsettling bits. Like you said, that whole hallway was unsettling. The subtle things that appeared at various times were kind of creepy. The acting was good enough that you could believe it and get into it. So, it had the potential to be, I wouldn't say scary, but unsettling. It'd make you uneasy.
The masturbating charcoal statue things.
Yeah, those, I don't know. But overall, I'd say no, not scary. And rating-wise, it's going to be even worse than the last one. I'd give it a 2. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. That's reserved for I Love You, Philip Morris and Signs. But this is just way below average. It was not entertaining. I was bored. I didn't need to watch it, and I'm certainly not going to again.
I give Signs a 9. It's not perfect, but it's up there. It's a great movie. It's one of my scariest movies. It's the only movie that's really actually terrified me.
That astounds me that
yeah.
It terrified me that Mel Gibson would do that to his career after things like Lethal Weapon and Mad Max and Braveheart and great movies.
So you gave the movie a 2.
A 2.
I give the movie...
My lowest one yet, I think.
Yeah. I give the movie a... Oh, no, that's going to be a poo. I ain't doing that. But that's what the movie deserves.
Also, that's not on camera.
That's what the movie deserves.
Well, go with a number.
Like, I had an Oreo milkshake, and I was, like, feeling it bubbling in my stomach. I was, like, waiting for the movie just so I can give it a fart review, and I'm like, no, it's a poo. And that's more deserving of what the rating should be.
Instead of shitting in my game room, throw a number out there, how about?
-4?
So it was bad, is what we're getting at here. Yeah,
I'm sure there are some horror fanatics, some demon Satan worshippers that are like something that has to do with number 5 and
but
that
the
symbol
thing,
and the music. Maybe it's for real with something like that.
But for the horror movies, you shouldn't have to have the occult following to get into it. It should just scare you on like a primal, basic level.
Yeah, it wasn't scary at all.
And it did not. And granted, no horror movie for me ever has, and I highly doubt one will, but that's what you want to go for with these movies, is to try to frighten and unsettle people. You want them to sleep with the lights on and have someone stay the night with them.
Yeah, there was some great imagery that was like, ooh, that's creepy, but there was nothing scary at all.
Yeah.
They didn't even do any jump scares, did they?
No. They also didn't... Oh, no, they did. I was going to say they didn't kill anyone, but that one...
dude.
Yeah, the
frying
author.
pan man, yeah.
Which also, I know I'm not tracking kill count this year like I did in some of the previous ones last year, but one guy. That's all they killed. One guy. If you don't count the wishes and the flashbacks, which you really wouldn't. It's the one dude they killed. That's the worst kill count in any horror movie. Like, I have comedy movies that kill more people than that. Clerks killed one guy. So, this is not... No. Don't watch it. That's all I gotta say. Just don't. Tomorrow's a hopefully better movie, and we'll try again then.
We don't have any other Rob Zombie movies on our list, do we?
No.
Oh, good. Not off to a good start, Mr. Zombie. I like a few of your songs, that's about it.
I like the music. Saw him in concert, great performer. Some of his other movies are good, but this was shit. No. But like I said, tomorrow's another day, so we'll try again. See y'all then.
Yep. Yeah.